Hey everybody, welcome to another Spikey Saturday on the Leek. I'm John as always, and this week we're going to be jumping into our first Swiss draft for Khans of Tarkir for the channel. I have only done one draft of this so far, and it didn't go terribly well. I was beaten by what I think is the current deck to beat, which is the Black-White Warriors deck. Maybe we'll get lucky and get to do it this time, but I've done my research and done some studying. Hopefully I can jump back from that poor draft and maybe we'll have a good one today, but at least we'll have some fun. So I'm going to jump into this draft, and I will be back once we're ready to go. Alright, we're in. That took a little bit longer than I expected. So what do we have here? We have an Abzan Ascendancy. We don't necessarily want to be picking a triple color card. We don't want to commit to Abzan right here, right now. It's an okay card. If you do go full on Abzan, you get a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control when it comes into play, and whenever a non-token dies, you get a spirit. It's okay, but it's not first pickable. Speaking of that Black-White Warriors deck that I mentioned, there's nothing here for it. There's a Scoured Barons, there's a Smite the Monstrous, but those aren't really what we want to pick. So what I'm really kind of looking at here is Longshot Squad. It's a really good Outlast card, giving everything reach that has a counter on it. We've also got a Force Away. Force Away is a pretty solid card here. Other than that, there's an Archer's Parapet. That does push us into black-green. I think we just take the Longshot Squad. Frankly, this seems like a bit of a weak pack, so that's what we're going to take. Let's see, we've got Rakshasa Vizier. Whenever one or more cards are put into exile from your graveyard, so presumably delving, you put that many +1/+1 counters on Rakshasa Vizier. Not bad. You prefer to pick that up a bit later than pick 2. Looking at Icefeather Raven, however, is a fantastic turn 2. It's enemy color. Enemy colors is green, blue, enemy colors. Yes, of course it's enemy colors. So this is a color pair that you do want to be in early, because if we're green-blue, we can go green-blue-black and go Sultai, or we can go green-blue-red and go Temur. So that actually is a two-color combo that you wouldn't mind picking up pretty early. We do also have an Einok Bondkin here, which is arguably the best white common there is. Just a fantastic card. That's an ally pair, so that does push us with our green card into Abzan and Abzan only. I think I'm going to take the Icefeather Raven, though. It's an uncommon. We're not as likely to see them. And I feel like Black-White is going to be really, really overdrafted for the next little while. Every pro I've seen has been talking about Black-White, Force Black-White. And I'm not a fan of that. If it does take over the format, it might make the format kind of bad. So what do we have here? We have Mardu Charm, Mardu Rough Rider, Mardu Everywhere. Our colors, we've got an Alpine Grizzly and a Skulltkin. Neither of those are great. We've got a Throttle sitting here. Throttle is really good. That could push us into Sultai. Don't necessarily want to be into Sultai, but it is a solid card. I think it's between that and Skulltkin, I think. Skulltkin, of course, with the red activation, does push us right into Temur. Looks like, well, we can't really say Mardu is open. It's only pick 3 here. I might just want to stay green. Just stay the color that I am strongly as long as possible. Well, it's our first draft, so let's give that a go. Become Immense is pretty solid. It's a gigantic giant growth. It's 2 giant growths, actually, with Delve. Crippling Chill is probably better than that, though. Tap target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next step and draw a card at instant speed. That's pretty solid. We've got a Mardu War Shrieker, which I quite like. Speaking of the warrior deck, there's a Krumar Bondkin here, which is an Orc Warrior, and a Rush of Battle, which gives all your warriors lifelink, and all of your creatures +2/+1. Those table pretty quickly, so if you are pushing or forcing the Black-White Warriors deck, those are great cards to pick up on the second go-around of a pack. But we're looking at Crippling Chill or Jeskai Wind Scout here. Jeskai Wind Scout's a nice flyer. The prowess is just kind of gravy. But I think we'll go with the Crippling Chill. I think it's a better card here. Let's see, we've got a Jeskai Elder, a Jeskai Scout. Lots of stuff for the warrior deck again. We've got Sage Eye Harrier, which is not a great card. It's a 1/5 flyer that you can morph. Not great. But with the boosts that you can get to the warrior deck, +1/+0 to all warriors, or +0/+1 to all warriors, +1/+0 to all creatures from Raider spoils, it becomes a pretty good evasive clock. Staying on our colors, I think we're going to be deciding between Jeskai Wind Scout or Jeskai Elder. Elder has prowess, and whenever it deals damage, you get to loot, which is decent. Jeskai Wind Scout has flying. I think I might like flying more than the looting. I don't necessarily know how often I'm going to be getting through with that 1/2. It is a 2-drop, so I can probably get through once. It isn't uncommon, though, so maybe we go with it just to try it. I think that's what we'll do. So what do we have here? We have Treasure Cruise. Treasure Cruise is quite good. It's 7 and a blue to draw 3 cards, but you can delve. If you can make that a 1 mana, draw 3 cards, then it's basically Ancestral Recall. But we do have a Singing Bell Strike, which is more or less removal, at least until the very, very late game. We've got a Quiet Contemplation, which people think you can go off with. I don't know if you can or not. You'd have to require a lot of instants and sorceries and whatnot in your deck in order to really go off with it. And at that point, you're going to be light on creatures. So I think we're going to look at the Singing Bell Strike here. Pseudo removal, 2-drop, keeps our curve low, activates prowess on our Elder. Yeah, I'm happy with it. We can probably pick up a Treasure Cruise a little bit later on. Meandering Tower Shell. It's an extremely slow turtle. How slow is it? Well, when it attacks, it goes away. It doesn't actually attack that turn. Next turn, it finishes its attack and gets through. It does have Island Walk, which is decent. I may consider taking it. We'll see. There's also Awaken the Bear, which is just a nice combat trick, +3/+3 and trample. Set Adrift is not that great because it does not, it's not an instant, it's a sorcery. Kind of slow. I haven't played with it yet, so I think I'll just go with the Tower Shell. Might be too slow, but we'll see. What do we have here? Well, we've got Glacial Stalker. It's a vanilla morph, which is totally fine, and then it on-morphs for 5 as a 4/5. 4/5s are pretty solid in this format until you get to the really big stuff or a massive outlasted guy. So I think we'll just go with that and just stick green-blue as we are for the moment. Let's not jump into another color until we have to. So we've got Embodiment of Spring, which is a decent ramper. Lets us go and get a forest. It fits in our colors perfectly right now. We could go black with Sultai Soothsayer. When it enters the battlefield, you put the top 4 cards of your library, you look at them, you put 1 in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. Now, if you have a lot of delve, that's decent. I don't know if I want to go Sultai. I think I'd prefer Teamer here. If we do go Teamer, we have a Saltwater Cliffs. But I think we're just blue-green at the moment, so Embodiment of Spring. Alright, coming back around, we've got that Rakshasa Vizier again. That's kind of pushing us Sultai. Haven't seen much Teamer stuff. Or another Glacial Stalker. I think we can get another Glacial Stalker if we want, so maybe we flirt with Sultai here and take the Rakshasa Vizier. We don't have any Delve stuff just yet, but we can always get that. So black, we've got Sidisi's Pet. We're not going to go Jeskai at all, so we don't really need the red-white land. We could go flirt with Teamer, but neither of those are terribly good, so let's go with the Pet. Pet's not great, but whatever. So if we're black, we can take the Bondkin here. There's a Kin Tree Warden, which I don't like. It's a 1/1 for 1 that you can regenerate for 2. It's a blocker, but I don't think it's worth a card, so we'll just take the Bondkin here. Taigam Scheming, top 5 cards of your library, put them any number into your graveyard, the rest back on top. Don't think I'll play it, but let's pop it in. Feed the Clan, not playable at all. Add a mountain. So the nice thing with your curve, of course, is that with Morph, you can move some of these guys. So Bondkin, he's not a 5-drop, he's a 3-drop. Glacial Stalker is a 3-drop, and our curve looks a bit better. Ooh, we've got a Dig Through Time, which is a really good card, and also somewhat valuable. I think it's $5 or $6 right now, which is probably what we're going to take here. So 6 blue, pretty expensive, but it has Delve, which goes with our Vizier. You get to look at the top 7 cards of your library, put 2 of them in your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So you get to look at a full hand off the top of your library, and then take 2 of the best cards from it, and then put the worst cards on the bottom of your library. So it's not even a question that we're going to take that. But we also have a Water Whirl, return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hand. It's a double Voyage's End. We have a Grizzly, a Flock, a Sandbar. Nothing else terribly great in this pack for us. I guess coming back around, maybe we'll get the Water Whirl. I doubt it, but maybe. But we're taking Dig Through Time. Not even a question. And that is not a 4-drop. I mean, we hope it to be a 4-drop, but... what do we have here? We have a Tri-land that we could consider playing. It's Abzan, but it does have our black and green. We do want to start thinking about getting some mana fixing in the next few picks. But I don't think I would want to pass the Squad or the Chill over the Sandstep Citadel. We can also go Archer's Parapet here. It's a bit more of an Abzan card, but it does go into our Sultai deck. It's really a nice kind of inevitability. It's 1 life a turn, but it adds up. It might be the pick that we take here, actually. I don't know if it's really what we want to be doing. I feel like we actually are a little bit aggressive. Ignoring our Meandering Tower Shell, of course. But I think maybe we'll take it. It's a 2-drop. Yeah, let's take it. What do we have here? We have Trail of Mystery, which people really want to be good. They want to go off with it. Whenever you have a morph creature enter the battlefield, you can search for a basic land and put it in your hand, and then whenever it flips up, if it's a creature, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. I don't necessarily like it. Maybe you can fit it into some sort of crazy super morph deck, but I doubt it. We have a green-blue dual land here, which is something we do want, but I think we have some better cards here that we need to consider. Dragon's Eye Savant is not one of them. It's an 06 that you can morph by revealing a blue card, and you get to look at your opponent's hand. You don't get to do anything with it. You're just going to look at it. But we do have an Abomination of Gudul. That's a Sultai card. So it's a flyer 3/4 that you can morph for 2 in Sultai, and whenever it deals damage, you can loot, which is fantastic. So I think we're taking that for sure. Let's see. Ooh, there's a Raiders Spoils. That goes in the Black-White Raiders deck for sure. It's a foil one, too. But we're not that. I don't think we have that many warriors. Or any? We have one. We have one warrior. So not even a question. We're looking at the Force Away, I think. We don't really want another Jeskai Elder. We want to get some bigger guys coming in. We don't have the white for that. Blinding Spray, not that good from my experience so far. But Force Away is just a solid card. It's Voyage's End, minus the Scry. But if you have 4 or greater power, you do get better than a Scry. You get a loot. Do we have anything that activates that? Stalker, Vizier, Shell, Kapondkin, that guy after he's been outlasted. Yeah, that's pretty good. Force Away. What do we have here? This might be the time to go for the cruise, although actually no, we've got a Sultai Scavenger, which is a great creature. 3/3 flyer with Delve, so you can potentially cast this for black and 3 reliably. If you're lucky, maybe even black, and you get a 3/3 flyer. So that's solid. In the pack, we've also got a Woolly Loxodon, which is another of the vanilla morph creatures. 6/7 is better than a 4/5, but we can get one of those if we really need one. Whirlwind Adept, not a big fan. It's a 4/2 prowess with hexproof. I always think it flies for some reason. I guess maybe I think those are those swords or whatever he's holding look like wings, but he most definitely does not have flying. Sultai Scavenger does, though, and that's what we're going to take. Let's see. We've got not much. Another Alpine Grizzly, a Weave Fate, a Dutiful Return, a Tygam Scheming. Well, we've got a Grizzly, and we're playing it. We've got a Scheming, and I don't think we're going to play it. So we can take another Grizzly. We're at 13 creatures. We can pick up more. We still have another full pack to go after this. We can grab a Dutiful Return, which doesn't really go with Delve, so I guess we just take a Weave Fate. Don't know if I'll play it, but we can take it. Well, there's our dual land back, and I think that's what we're going to take here. Our other choice is basically cancel or Smoke Teller, and I don't want either of those, so dual land. Had to fix my curve here. Let's get our morphs put back where they belong. Ice Feather Raven's a 2-drop, but we'd prefer to morph it, so that way we can get its ability. Crippling Chill, we have 1. As long as I get basically nothing other than creatures for my next, entire pack, we would not, if I do get nothing but creatures, then maybe 2 is good, but we can always cut 1. But I don't think I'm going to play anything else. We already have a Sidisi's Pet, and I don't even know if I'm going to play the one we have. Retribution of the Agents, not a big fan. We only have like 1 Outlast guy. So yeah, we'll take another Crippling Chill here. Nothing we're going to play here. I guess I'll take the Warden and pop it in the sideboard right away. Alright, so what else can we knock down a little bit? So Sultai Scavenger is probably going to be more like a 4-drop. Dig Through Time is 8, so it's probably going to be more like a 5-drop or so. Wow, that's a late long shot squad. Yeah, we'll take it. Absolutely. It really doesn't look like that I'm screwing around with the curve down there. So we've got Dragon's Eye Savant, which I will not play, and Whirlwind Adept, which I probably will not play. So we'll take the probably will not play. What does Cranial Archive do? Shuffle your graveyard into your library. No. Whirlwind Adept. Go to the sideboard. Let's take our 3 spot, or our 3 drop spot is pretty full, so I don't think we're going to be playing a banner. I don't know that we'll play a second Parapet, but let's take it. Sure, another Adept. Sure, another Scheming. And boop, a Swamp. So 14 creatures, and we've got another 2 spots probably. This is almost definitely an 18 land format, not a 17 land format, so you do want 22 playables. We get a fetch land. And I think a fetch land is what we're going to take, because that's going to be worth 4 or 5 tickets, I think. Much less than paper, but still 4 or 5 tickets. If we weren't taking that, we'd probably think about the dead drop. Maybe the Scion. Maybe another Force Away. Not a terribly strong pack, but we're just going to take the Wooded Foothills. At this point, I really wish I was Black-White Warriors, because the Chiefs are fantastic. So yeah, fetch land. Alright, we get an Arc Lightning, and unfortunately we're not in red. It's fantastic removal. In our colors, we've got a Bitter Revelation, we've got a dual land, which I might take here. We have a Sagu Archer, which is pretty good. You can cast it for 4 and a green, or you can morph it for also 4 and a green, and it's 2/5 reach, which is pretty sizable. It blocks a lot of things in the format. We might be able to get it back around or get another one. So I think I'd rather just take this dual land here. Yeah, let's do that. Wow, another Arc Lightning. Somebody's going to be pretty happy. We're going to take the Savage Punch, I think. Gives us a bit of removal. Let's just punch things. We already have a Singing Bell Strike. We don't want that or that or that. So yeah, Savage Punch. Let's see. Debilitating Injury. More removal might be what we take here. Another duel, Disowned Ancestor, Dragon Scale Boon. Dragon Scale Boon can be used kind of as removal, but I think I'd just like the Debilitating Injury here. So we're at 22. So anything else we take, we're going to have to think about cuts. And there's some stuff I'd like to cut. The Sidisi's Pet, maybe the Bondkin. Maybe even the Embodiment, maybe. So what do we have here? We have Parapet, Embodiment, Molting Snake Skin. Not really that much, to be honest. I don't think I'd play any of these cards, so let's just hate out the Smite the Monstrous. Ooh, Dead Drop. Dead Drop is what we're going to take, I believe. Fits in our Delve plan. Sacrifices creatures. I was not happy with it. I actually played Sultai in my first draft, And it didn't go well against the decks that I played against because they were very aggressive and played out a lot of creatures. So by the time I did dead drop, you know, they had 6, 7 creatures on the board, so they didn't really care. But I think we'll try it again and see how it goes. And let's pitch the extra Crippling Chill that we have. So we're still at 14 creatures, which is still a little bit low. I wouldn't mind getting a creature to replace Weave Fate. None of these are going to be that, though. We have a Embodiment of Spring and a Rotting Mastodon. Don't want to play either of those. I might just hate out the Venerable Lamassu. I don't terribly have great anti-flyer options. I have the long shot squads, I suppose. You know what? I'll actually just hate out the warrior over here. Throttle is not a creature, but it's pretty good. Or we have our opportunity to go on a treasure cruise. What removal do we have? We have a debilitating injury. We have a bounce. We have dead drop. So I could take Throttle to replace Weave Fate, or I could take Treasure Cruise to replace Weave Fate. I think we'll take Throttle. No creatures here. Well, I guess there's an Alpine Grizzly. Is there any creature I would replace Alpine Grizzly with? Not terribly. Only thing I would be looking at would be the Embodiment of Spring. And we have enough 2-drops that maybe I could consider that. So yeah, let's do that. We have another Force Away. A Bitter Revelation. Heart Piercer Bow. Probably not going to play any of these, so let's take the Force Away. Not going to play any of these. Not terribly concerned about any of them either. Let's go with Sandbar. Same thing, not concerned. Let's take a banner, I guess. Embodiment. Another elk. So we have a deck. I don't know if it's good or not. Hopefully it's good, hopefully. Definitely feels creature light. Might have to toss in one of those Whirlwind Adepts. But hey, we got a fetch land and we got to dig through time. I think that's like maybe 10 or 11 tickets worth of value. Alright, just waiting for our basic land for our last pick here. Somebody has slowed us down. There we go. All right. So, what are we going to do here? Maybe we just have our deck. Let's get the morphs fixed up here. Euromorph. Euromorph. I don't really want to play you, though. Euromorph. Euromorph. You're a Delve, so you fit more appropriately here. Hopefully we can exile 2 cards. You're a Delve. Let's presume we can reliably exile 2 or 3 cards. So let's put you at the... Let's be optimistic. Let's put you at the 5 spot. And let's put you at the 6 spot. So, not really a curve. We have 2 drops and 3 drops. And then some 4 and some 5. So yeah, thinking about trading Sidisi's pet. What do we have creature-wise? We have Elks and Embodiments and the Whirlwind Adept. Can we boost the Whirlwind Adept anyway? Not really. Not really. Meandering Tower Shell, it's only when he attacks, correct? He can block perfectly fine. He can block everything. 5/9, quite good. Maybe I just keep the Sidisi's Pet in. It's a 1/4. It'll slowly but surely gain me life. Yeah, let's do that. We're slightly creature light. I'd prefer to be a bit more creature heavy. But hey, we're Sultai, so we can cast a lot of cheap spells, hopefully. I've got my 1 Force Away in. I have another one if I want it. We've got our 1 Crippling Chill in. I have another one if I want it. Yeah, I think we just go with this. So what do we have color-wise? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blue. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 green. So what was that, 11, 10, 9? So almost exactly even. Let's toss in a blue-black land and a blue-green land. And what does this say? This says 6, 5, and 5. Or sorry, that's not black-green, that's green-blue land. So we have 2 extra blue sources. Green was our highest source, but it runs a little bit late game, as does our black, whereas our blue runs... Well, no, I guess a lot of our blue is removal that we played late game as well. Yeah, I think this works, actually. So we'll add that to the deck. And there is our Sultai deck. Not terribly happy about being Sultai. We'll see how it goes, though. So I will see you guys for round 1.